Hey everybody, welcome to episode 35 of Average Guy Opinions. I am your average guy, John Corelli. The light is harsh. I've had to retire to my oldest son's bedroom, which looks like a log cabin, but it's not. Um, but the light should be harsh because I'm going to talk to you about the story of Emmett Till. I will probably end up doing more stories like this during Black History Month. Because I'm going to be watching some shows and I'm going to be getting into this stuff because holy shit. Okay, Emmett Till, here we go. Most of you know pretty much what happened with Emmett Till, I would think. But I saw some details of this story that just blew my mind. I watched American Experience on PBS, and it was an hour-long special. Um, and they had the perfect narrator for it. It was Andre Braugher, who I love, and he had the perfect voice and timbre for this recount of what happened to this boy in 1955. I'll try to get through it in 9 more minutes. So let me see what I can do. Uh, and I will try not to get too emotional because it's really unbelievable. So Emmett Till was born in 1941. Unfortunately, his father died in World War II. So I don't think Emmett Till ever knew his father. His mother, Mamie Till, raised him by herself, but with help of family. He was a Chicago kid, and a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't. Maybe I forgot, or maybe I forgot that he was a Chicago kid. And then at age 14, his mom sent him down to Mississippi to visit family and get some of the Southern experience. She tried to warn him that this is a different world than what you're used to here in Chicago, and you better say yes sir, no sir, don't look any white person in the eye. And Emmett Till had quite a bombastic personality, apparently. A lot of his former friends or childhood friends attested to this in this special. And he went into this store, and the tiny town called Money, Mississippi, is where this happened. And he went into the store, and him and a bunch of his friends, they would pick cotton half the day and then mess around the other half of the day. That's what their summer experience is going to be. And so they've been picking cotton. They went to this store, of course, owned by white people, to get some treats, some candy, some soda, whatever. And as Emmett Till left the store, he whistled at the owner's wife. She was running the store that day. Whistled at her as he left, as he left, and she came out running out. And all these kids and their uncle jumped into their car and took off because they were afraid she was gonna maybe get a pistol out of her car or have a pistol with her out of the store. And they got away for then, but then the men who own the store, um, uh, J.W. Milo and I'm forgetting the main guy's name, because they don't honestly they don't I don't they should remain nameless. They should be ashes in the heap of history, in my opinion. But they took Emmett Till and they beat him absolutely savagely, and then they shot him, and then they dumped him in the Tallahatchie River, and then they burned any evidence they could, including his clothes. They washed out the back of the truck that had all this blood in it, the truck they transported his body to the river. Absolutely horrific, absolutely horrific story. It gets even more interesting and in some ways more horrific. Mamie Till, Emmett's mother, had to deal with this. Obviously, they brought his body back from Chicago, and it had not only been in a river for a while; it had been savagely beaten and shot. And it they showed, and I had either not seen this or also put this in the recesses of my memory, but he looked like the Elephant Man. That's not an exaggeration. There's no evidence that he even has eyes. And when she received the body, the guy who ran the Jesus, sorry, running out of words. The guy who ran the funeral home said, "I'm not opening this box." And she took a hammer and said, "I will open this box if you don't. I have to see my son. I have to make sure this is my son." Um, and the way that she recounted it is absolutely heart wrenching. She worked from his feet up to his face, and what she saw she described in detail. And can you imagine a mother seeing your dead son in this condition? and she insisted on an open casket um, for his funeral. 50,000 people came to see his body. And they showed some footage of this. There's footage of it from like there's an upward shot where you can see his body and basically this it's not even a face anymore. And people there are people fainting. There are grown men going into hysterics. It was really something. Yeah, and it's hard for me to think of burying my kids. So this so this is just halfway through. Now we get to the court case, right? Um, the sheriff, runs a dog and pony show, acting like he cares about justice. It's an male, all white jury. Shocking. Uh, any press that's down there is kind of misled. Um, or the local press, gets all over Mamie Till as she comes down. Well, why are you here? She's like, because I've been told to answer questions in regards to this case, that I am a witness. And they're like, well, how could you be a witness? You didn't say anything. She said, it's about my son. And so, I mean, you could just see the harassment that she took from the local press, um, from the local townspeople, just anyone. I mean, because it's in Tallahatchie County. Now, Money was a tiny town, but Tallahatchie County had a lot of people, and you could just the segregation that was there in 1955 was obviously horrific. Of course, to make a long story short, of course, Emmett Till's murderers are found not guilty. They said they could hear the laughter in the jury room. They said the jurors knew exactly what they were going to do. Everyone in that courtroom knew exactly how those jurors were going to find the defendants. And the jurors even said later, like, oh yeah, we had to make it look good. We hung out there in an hour and we were telling jokes and drinking soda. And, we knew as soon as we entered that jury room, we were going to be out 2 seconds later saying not guilty, but we had to try to make it look good. Excuse me. So, check that. This is where it gets even more horrific, is that the two men who committed the crime, since there's no double jeopardy, they can't be tried again, at least at the state level. The feds refused. Eisenhower dropped the ball. And gee, who was Eisenhower's attorney general? J. Edgar Hoover, who wasn't exactly known for being a left-wing liberal type of guy, was he? So they just let this slide, and so these guys, 4 months later, in a magazine called Look, which was big in the 50s and 60s, and I think existed maybe until fairly recently, may even still be around for all I know. They were paid $4,000, and I remember that's $1955, so it's a lot of money. And they told the whole story. They said, yeah, oh yeah, we killed him, and how hard it was to burn crepe sole shoes. That took a while. And oh yeah, we were just gonna whip him, and then it got a little out of hand, and then we just said fuck it and killed him. That was basically the short version of that story. That's what they did to this child. They murdered him. They dumped him in a river, and they absolutely got away with it. Two men that came forward to this is kind of going back to the court case. Two black men, very brave black men that heard some things and saw some things, came out in court. And one was a 64-year-old man named Mose Wright. He was, I think, Emmett Till's uncle. He came out and said, yeah, these guys came looking for him with a flashlight, and they took him away. And then a younger guy named Willie Reed, who lived in the town at the time and heard the beating taking place, he testified too. These men, as soon as they were done testifying, got the fuck out of Dodge, aka Mississippi, and lived in Chicago for the rest of their lives, never to return to Mississippi because they knew they would be dead. Because that's the way it was. I mean, they even showed interviews with some of the guys on the street saying, well, do you think these men should be indicted? And there's just a black kid going, no, sir. Nope. And he's like, why not? I don't know, sir. Just because that was the whole zeitgeist. I don't know. That was the culture of the South, and that's why we have to. That's why BLM matters today, 65 years later. If there's any silver lining to this, it's that the black people that mainly supported that guy's business, the little store, they boycotted it and it shut down. And then a few months later, a certain lady named Rosa Parks refused to get up from her seat in a bus. And so this really, the Emmett Till saga is really the spark before the spark that sparked the civil rights movement. So amazing story, heartbreaking story. I got through without crying. Kind of proud of myself. But man, it was hard to hold back tears watching this special. I hope you, I don't know if this was enjoyable. I hope it was educational. I suggest you look into it. Thank you so much for listening to Average Guy's Opinions. That's it. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.